Alrighty, we're working on a John Deere X530 lawn tractor here. Let me get back here and I'll show you what we got going on. This thing sits outside, has most of its life, and the sun got to this tank, and I mean, just did it dirty. Anyway, it's going to be a pretty straightforward job. There's a bolt here, there's a bolt back here on the other side of the tank right there. Take those out, and it's just got two little O-rings there that go into that hole. Now, I did drain the transaxle. I'll show you what I'm talking about. That hole there, it just takes a 3/8 drive ratchet, and when you unscrew it, it'll dump right into your pan, and you just slide the filter out and throw it in there. You can see it there. What you're going to need for this job is a new tank from Tough Torque. There's your Tough Torque number, and let me get you the John Deere number. There's your John Deere number. You'll also need a filter. Make sure you get the filter kit with the O-ring in it. Keep you from having to drive back down there. There's the Tough Torque number. And once again, here's the John Deere number. Okay. Anyway, let me open these up. I'll be right back. Okay, so here's your tank. It did not come with new O-rings, which is unfortunate. We'll just reuse the ones on the other tank. And like I said, here's your filter kit. Make sure to get the one with the O-ring. That way you ain't fighting trying to match that up to a kit somewhere, or like a assortment that you would get, or have to take another trip to the dealer. Anyway, I'm gonna go over and slap these two O-rings on the bottom of this, and then I will show you how to get it installed. Now we're just gonna use a swivel, tighten down the back bolt, tighten down the front bolt. I don't need a swivel for this, but I ain't got three hands to change it. That's tight. Now, one thing that you need to remember, the tank did not also come with this little foam or this cap. So you want, after you fill it, you want to make sure this little foam piece right here gets, well, it's gone. There it is. You want to make sure it gets cleaned and put back in there, because that's how the system breathes right there. And like I said, clean up this cap real good and pop it back on. But before we fill it, we got to put the new filter in. Here's the cap that goes over the filter. Put your new O-ring on there. We've got the new filter right there. The old filter's right there. And we're going to put it in with the spring facing the cap. So it'll be sitting in there like this. Let me slide up under here. Let's see if we can do this together. Well, that's the best I can do for the view. I think it's pretty much impossible to get a tripod up in there. So you just slide it up in there, make sure it goes in. Good grief. Make sure it goes up in there like that. You're going to put your cap on it. Spin it backwards, there you go, until you hear it click, so you don't cross thread it. These caps are pretty well known to cross thread if you ain't careful.
Alright.
And you just snug it up with the ratchet. No socket necessary. dokie. So there's that. Now, John Deere in their infinite wisdom made this incredibly hard to fill because it's back up under there a pretty good ways. But it takes, I think it's 1.3 gallons is what's supposed to be in there, but we will fill it until it hits the full mark. We will jack it up and we will drive it forward and backward and make sure that it doesn't run out, and we will leave it on the full mark when it's all done, even if we have to suck a little out. You need that room inside that tank, so as you're driving it and you're working it, the fluid will expand. And if you don't leave it in there, if you don't leave enough room in there, it's not the end of the world, but it will puke oil out. And usually the customer will call and they're like, oh my God, you just put this tank on there and now it's leaking. So this particular one takes the low viscosity high guard, and I have not found any other manufacturer that will claim that their oil will work for this. If somebody knows a substitution for this, let me know. And you know, if you've got a lot of experience and you I don't know, maybe you worked in a shop for 10-20 years and you haven't been running that, you've been running something else, I'd love to quit buying this because it is expensive. I just bought this one, in case in point, it's 26 bucks a gallon. So I like to save my customers money where I can, but I'm not willing to sacrifice their equipment to do so. Anyway, I'm gonna get this thing filled up. Like I said, if you're watching this video to do the job yourself, jack it up and get the back tires off the ground, run the pedals forward and backwards with the engine running, watching the oil level, make sure your tank doesn't go empty, and you're going to want it to be on the full level when you're done. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that it helped you in some way. If you got any questions, leave them in the chat box, and appreciate you, and subscribe to this video, or to this channel.